to record in here because I have a child that will not stop crying. At least now he's stopped crying, but I have to have Blippy on loud. So I'm in here, where it's quiet, in a room. It's very empty. Look at my bare wall behind me. There's nothing there. But you know what I did do? We did a movie night with the kids, and we watched a movie called Animal Crackers, which I picked it out merely because of the names of the different actors that were in it. The cast is absolutely stacked. First things first, we have Gilbert Gottfried. I don't know if it was his last film, but it was one of his last films. And he played a dwarf named Zucchini. I mean, I could use the other word, but some people might get mad about the other six-letter word. Um, not any, well, involving short people. All right. So then you had Sylvester Stallone, who played Bullet Man, who basically only said Bullet Man, Bullet Man, the whole time through. Um, then you had, what was it, John Krasinski was the main character. Um, and Sir Ian McKellen was in it as the villain, and Danny DeVito. And that's there were probably even more that I don't know the names of off the top of my head, but those were some of the names of the people who did voices in this movie. A movie about magical animal crackers. So, the plot. Two brothers ran a circus together, and the fortune teller lady's like niece was coming to visit. Then the brothers fought over the niece because they both fell in love with her, but she chose the good, nice brother and not the greedy, um, kind of a hole brother. And then it wound up splitting the circus, and half of them went with the nice brother, and half of them stayed with the greedy brother. And then at that point, the two groups had two separate circuses, and then it jumps a generation, and there's another nephew. I don't know where this one came from because they didn't tie it to either of the brothers. So apparently there may have been a third brother or a sister who had nothing to do with the circus. That's the part that kind of like fell out like, huh? So, um he goes to the circus, he meets a girl at the circus, the two of them fall in love, and the secret of the animal crackers basically is going to pass down to them. The evil older brother tries to steal the animal crackers, sets the trailer on fire, and what happened was the two, well, the original brother and his wife, they had their human crackers get destroyed. So I guessed from the very beginning that they were those animals and they were never going to be able to return to human, and that pretty much happened, and that was a very easy guess. So the throughout the entire movie, the main character, he worked at a dog biscuit factory, taste testing dog biscuits, and they were awful. And he worked there for 7 years, and him and his wife had a daughter. Then, when the uncle goes missing, he goes to the circus and basically inherits the animal crackers and is supposed to take over the circus. And he just doesn't want to do it because he wants to provide for his family because he has a steady job, even if he hates it. Uh, totally can relate to that. Anyway, so um, the following bit is that his wife winds up working at the circus, getting it back up and running, but the evil uncle is still trying to get the animal crackers, so he starts trying to get them. He sends his minions, and then they start fighting, and eventually, the main character, John Krasinski, he does go to the circus, takes it over. He brings the animal crackers once he finds out what they can do, and it becomes part of the show. And they do all these different, acts, and they're having a great time. But then finally, the bad guys get some of the animal crackers, but they're cracked. They're not all just together. Well, that allows them to basically become chimeras, and that was actually really neat. And the main villain, the uncle, eventually does get all of the animal crackers like combined. He eats like a whole handful at the same time. And I don't know if they were attempting to create a Balrog or what they were trying to do, just because Sir Ian McKellen was the villain. Um, but he became this massive. So he had like a snake body, and he had arms and legs. He had four arms, two legs, wings, a head of a lion with ram's horns, and it's just like, wow, they actually put a little bit of design into the final boss, basically. And then the good guys, they take turns, like they all have the different animal crackers, so they turn into different animals so they can fight this chimera monster. And it's I thought it was great. The movie overall was really good, even though some of like the human animations were kind of hit or miss. They looked a little goofy, especially with the faces. But the fact that so many of the different characters, like the plot of the movie, okay, but there were definitely parts that were really good. I mean, first off, Danny DeVito played Chesterfield, a clown. At the beginning of the movie, he's super skinny, but by the end, he actually is kind of fat. And it's kind of funny because they really tried to make his face look like Danny DeVito's face towards the end. Um, and that was kind of what I saw with some of the characters. They tried to make them look a little bit like their actual human counterparts. And Sylvester Stallone just saying "Bullet Man" every time he gets shot out of the cannon was pretty funny. And he's just like "Bullet Man, Bullet Man." Yeah. So overall, fun movie. It's on Netflix. Definitely good for kids. Star-studded cast, which just I hadn't heard of it. Did it even come out in theaters? Don't know.